Imagine waking up one morning to complete silence. No calls, no texts, no one knocking on your door. You sit down for breakfast alone, flip through the TV channels, and realize this has been your routine for years. There was a time when your days were filled with conversations, laughter, and plans. But now, it feels like the world has quietly moved on without you. Aging alone isn't just about living without a partner. It's about the risks that come with it, risks that no one talks about enough. The health effects, the emotional toll, even the hidden dangers that can shorten your life. And if you think this doesn't apply to you, think again. Statistics show that over 22% of Americans over 75 live alone, and that number is only growing. So, let me ask you, do you know the real dangers of aging alone after 75? And more importantly, do you have a plan? Let me know in the comments below. In today's video, we're diving deep into the hidden risks that come with living alone in your later years. But don't worry, this isn't just about the problems. We'll also talk about solutions, because it's never too late to take control of your future. And before we get started, if you find this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button. It helps more people find this information, and trust me, this is something everyone needs to hear. Now, let's talk about the first hidden danger of aging alone. Number 1, the silent killer, how loneliness affects your health. A few years ago, Margaret, a retired teacher from Ohio, lost her husband. At first, she told herself she was fine. She stayed busy, read books, and kept up with her favorite TV shows. But over time, something changed. She started skipping meals. She lost interest in going outside. Her sleep became restless. She told herself it was just part of getting older. What she didn't realize was that her body was reacting to something deeper, loneliness. And she wasn't alone. Studies have found that chronic loneliness can be as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, dementia, and even premature death. Why? Because loneliness isn't just a feeling, it's a biological stressor. When you feel isolated, your body releases more cortisol, a stress hormone that weakens your immune system, raises your blood pressure, and even damages your brain over time. And here's the most dangerous part. Loneliness can sneak up on you. You may not feel it right away, but your body does. So what can you do? The answer isn't just about staying social. It's about building connections that matter. Reaching out to family, joining community groups, or even getting involved in local events can make a world of difference. And if you're watching this and thinking, I don't have anyone to call, leave a comment below. You're not alone, and this conversation needs to happen. Now, let's move on to the next hidden danger, one that many people don't even see coming until it's too late. Number 2, the hidden crisis, how living alone increases the risk of medical emergencies. Picture this. It's late at night, and you wake up feeling dizzy. You try to stand up, but the room spins, and before you know it, you're on the floor. You reach for your phone, but it's on the kitchen counter, too far away. Hours pass. No one calls. No one knocks on your door. Morning comes, but no help arrives because no one knows you need it. This scenario isn't just hypothetical. It happens every single day. In the US, adults over 75 who live alone are twice as likely to experience a medical emergency without immediate help. Falls, strokes, heart attacks, these things don't wait for a convenient time, and when you're alone, every second matters. One of the biggest dangers? Delayed response time. The longer it takes to get medical help, the worse the outcome. A simple fall can turn into a life-threatening situation. A mild stroke, if untreated, can cause permanent brain damage. So what can you do? First, don't wait until an emergency happens to think about your safety. Set up a plan now. A medical alert system, daily check-in calls with a friend or family member, even something as simple as keeping your phone within arm's reach at all times. These small actions can literally save your life. If you've ever experienced a medical emergency alone, share your story in the comments. Your experience could help someone else prepare. And now, let's talk about another hidden danger, one that's draining the financial security of older adults every single day. Number 3, the financial trap, why seniors living alone are prime targets for scams. Let's talk about Richard. He's 78, a retired engineer, and lives alone in Florida. One afternoon, he gets a phone call, someone claiming to be from the IRS. They tell him he owes back taxes and that if he doesn't pay immediately, his Social Security could be frozen. Panicked, Richard follows their instructions. He withdraws thousands of dollars and sends it through a wire transfer. By the time he realizes it was a scam, his savings are gone. This isn't just an isolated case. Every year, seniors in the U.S. lose over $3 billion to scams and financial fraud. And the most vulnerable? Those who live alone. Why? Because scammers target isolation. They know there's no one around to warn you. No spouse to double-check. No family member to step in. The most common scams. Fake government calls demanding money. Tech support, scams asking for remote access to your computer. Romance scams that trick seniors into sending money to fake online partners. Phony charities preying on goodwill. And here's the scariest part. Once you're on a scammer's radar, they keep coming back. If you've been scammed once, your information is often sold to other fraudsters, making you a repeat target. So, how do you protect yourself? First, never trust unsolicited calls, emails, or messages asking for money or personal information. If someone says they're from the IRS, Social Security, or a bank, hang up and call the official number yourself. Second, talk to someone before making any financial decisions. Even if you live alone, having a trusted friend or financial advisor to check in with can make all the difference. Have you ever received a suspicious call or email? Share your experience in the comments. Your warning could save someone else from falling into the same trap. Now, let's move on to the next danger of aging alone. One that affects not just your wallet, but your very ability to live independently. Number 4. The decline no one talks about. How isolation leads to faster cognitive decline. Imagine this. You walk into the kitchen to grab something, but the moment you get there, you forget why. Later that day, you miss an appointment, something you never used to do. At first, you brush it off as normal aging. But over time, the little slips become more frequent. Words feel harder to find. Simple tasks take longer. You start to wonder, is this just old age or something more? Here's the hard truth. Living alone significantly increases the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. In fact, research from the National Institute on Aging shows that social isolation raises the risk of Alzheimer's disease by up to 50%. Why? Because the brain thrives on engagement. Conversations, problem-solving, even small daily interactions help keep the mind sharp. But when you live alone, those moments become fewer and fewer. The less you use your brain, the faster it weakens. And it's not just about memory loss. Isolation can shrink the brain. MRI scans of socially isolated seniors show reduced brain volume in key areas responsible for memory and decision-making. It's as if the brain starts shutting down when it's not stimulated enough. So what can you do? Stay mentally active. Read, do puzzles, learn something new. Even a few minutes a day makes a difference. More importantly, stay socially engaged. Whether it's joining a book club, volunteering, or even just calling a friend every day, keeping your brain active isn't just about what you do. It's about who you connect with. If you've ever felt like your memory isn't as sharp as it used to be, drop a comment below. You're not alone, and there are ways to fight back. Now, let's move on to the final hidden danger of aging alone, one that could determine the quality of your last years. Number 5. The end-of-life crisis. Why aging alone can lead to a lack of care in your final years. Think about this for a moment. If you were to fall seriously ill tomorrow, who would be there to make sure you get the care you need? Who would speak on your behalf if you couldn't make medical decisions? Who would ensure you aren't left alone in a hospital room with no one to check in on you? It's a painful reality, but for millions of older adults living alone, end-of-life care becomes a crisis. Without family or close friends nearby, many seniors end up in overcrowded nursing homes, underfunded assisted living facilities, or, worse, alone in their own homes with no one to help. And the numbers don't lie. Studies show that elderly individuals living alone are far more likely to experience inadequate medical care, misdiagnoses, and neglect. In many cases, they pass away without anyone knowing for days, even weeks. But it doesn't have to be this way. The key is planning ahead. Setting up a legal power of attorney, making your medical wishes clear, and establishing a care plan before a crisis happens can make all the difference. If you don't have family nearby, consider forming a network of trusted friends, neighbors, or even a professional elder care advocate. Most importantly, don't wait. Your future self will thank you for the actions you take today. Have you thought about who would take care of you in your later years? If not, now is the time to start. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. It's a conversation we all need to have. Now, let's wrap up this discussion with some final thoughts, and most importantly, what you can do starting today. We've talked about the hidden dangers of aging alone, the silent health risks, the medical emergencies, the financial scams, the cognitive decline, and the lack of care in your final years. It's a reality that many don't want to face, but here's the truth. Ignoring it won't make it go away. The good news? You have the power to change your future. It starts with action. Strengthen your social connections. Reach out to family, join a community group, or even start a new hobby that brings you around others. Protect yourself from scams. If something feels suspicious, trust your instincts and verify before acting. Plan for medical emergencies. Set up a safety system, keep important numbers handy, and make sure someone checks in on you regularly. And most importantly, think about your long-term care. Whether it's arranging for home care, exploring assisted living options, or simply having honest conversations with loved ones, planning now means peace of mind later. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Which of these dangers surprised you the most? And what steps are you taking to protect yourself or a loved one? Your story could help someone else. And if you found this information valuable, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, because these are the conversations we all need to be having. Aging alone comes with challenges, but with the right steps, you don't have to face them unprepared. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.